hero.
Have you any hobbies?
My hobbies are fast cars and fast women.
Hobbies are healthy. They teach you things. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Welcome everybody back to Around the UFL. James Larson here at Pro Football Newsroom, and we have a lot to catch up on from the last week of action in the UFL. Training camp's underway. We've got rule books. We've got coaching staffs. We've got full rosters. And we've got a full roster here on PFN's Around the UFL. James Baker, John Lewis, and Ducky join the show today. Opening up with James Baker in the top left corner. Baker, how's it going, man?
Oh, man, this is Christmas morning for me because, you know, I am all about the rule book. So finally, we got a 2026 rule book. Mike Rapoli kept the cover white for me, so we're on good terms. So
He
I'm
did
as
that
hyped
just for
as
you.
be.
John Lewis in the house. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Before we get started, the guys at the Louisville Kings Corner, they said I've got to teach you guys before kickoff how to pronounce Louisville. So we're going to work on that. I just want to promise them that I heard what they said. We're going to get you guys to say Louisville the right way before March 27th.
So what I'm hearing is that at the end of every ATU episode, we're going to need a training session, and we'll see how much we improve week to week.
I got faith in all of you.
I feel like out of this group of four, other than John, I feel like I have it the best. I've been practice. Like before the last episode, I actually practiced.
All right.
When I was looking for my car keys, yeah.
Ducky, I guess I'll just jump right to you. How's it going? You're here on time, so that's a plus. You didn't get beat by our guest, so that's also a plus.
That, you know, ain't first, you're last. No, I was last.
That's all you got to say? Is that how you're going to... Is that what you're going to be saying at the end of the season when the Aviators are 0-10?
No. As Caleb said in the chat, go Aviators, you know. That's about it, yeah.
Well, appreciate the in-depth answer there, Ducky. But, hey, guys, there's a lot to break down. I think we got to start with the obvious here. We got rules today, and boy, did we get rules. I felt like last year... There was a couple of slight tweaks to the rule book, but there wasn't anything major. I mean, from 2024 to 2025, it was like, all right, I mean, this is pretty much the same. The the main big change was that we went back to the XFL kickoff from the USFL kickoff, which I think that was something we all wanted to see. I think it just made sense for the league to adopt that, but holy smokes. I mean, we are heading into some legitimate uncharted territory when it comes to professional football and spring football. We've got 4-point field goals. You can't punt once you cross the 50-yard line. The PAT system has changed again. There's a lot to break down. I'll open the floor up to whoever wants to jump in first. How are we feeling about this?
I think one of the easiest things to do to make yourself different are the rules. And, as Dean Blandino has said, and what we have seen it's happened with the NFL adopting, some of those kickoffs and some different kind of rules. So I think, for the most part, I kind of like the rules. I don't like the 1 foot inbounds rule as a completion. I'll be interested to get the takes from, the people who are actually playing the game to see if they like that or not. But to me, that was the one of all of them that really stood out. The punt thing, I'm not real sure about that one either. But the 1 foot inbounds thing, that's the only one that I was like, I don't really like. But the rest of them I thought are innovative. And honestly, it's like at this point, Dean Blandino in the video made a point of saying like how, these kickers, they're so much better and they can kick these 60-yard field goals. But it seems like now if you're kicking a 60-yard field goal, you're getting something for it. But if these kickers are so much better, like, is that worth it? If that makes sense. I don't, but I do like it. I mean, if you're hitting a 60-plus yard field goal, to me, it feels like that you should get at least one more for it.
And I think part of that field goal decision and moving to 4 points, it ties into the fact with the new punt rule where, like, okay, like, we're at the 48-yard line. Let's trot out our kicker and just kick a 65-yarder and try to get 4 points on the board. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And actually, I think what we might see, as long as the kickers in this league do still have the legs of the Rodrigo Blankenships and the Harrison Mevises and the Brandon Aubreys that we've seen, because there's been a lot of turnover at the kicking position this year. So we'll see how some of these new faces, turn out. But I think we will, to your point, I think we will see more 60-plus yarders attempted simply because of that punt rule where, all right, might as well give it a shot, see if we can get 4 points on the board. As for the 1 foot in balance rule, I'm all with you on that. I'm not a huge fan of it because the NFL doesn't have it. But I'll tell you what, the offensive players are going to love it. They're definitely, wide receivers are thrilled about this news, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's spring football. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you want to preach being a league of innovation, that starts with the rule set. People want to say gimmicky this, gimmicky that. They call the XFL kickoff gimmicky. It's now in the NFL. The biggest thing I hear against 1 foot in bounds is it's not what the NFL does. But this isn't the NFL. That's a key part of what's important about the UFL. It's a place to, have high scoring games. That would be a ton of fun and intimate, small environments. So I loved every single rule change they put forth today.
Ducky, were you going to jump in?
It was mostly about the kicking thing. I think we're going to see a lot more like fake kickoffs, fake punts. Not fake punts, but fake kickoffs, I guess you should say. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. So I'm excited for that mostly, just to see more trick plays.
And I think I want to circle back to the 1 foot in bounds thing because I think something else that's important to note about that is if a wide receiver is athletic enough to be making incredible catches on the sidelines and coming down with footballs and he's only getting 1 foot in bounds, I don't think that's going to stop NFL teams from giving him a look. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's drastic enough to, like, yes, I know the NFL has 2 feet in balance, but you're looking at the athleticism of the guy. You're looking at his route running abilities. You're looking at his ability to make contested catches in traffic and come down with sideline catches. 1 foot, 2 feet, I feel like that's a much smaller percentage of the decision to bring a guy into camp compared to, some of the other more important things, like did he actually catch the football?
Right. Well, yeah, no, hey. I wasn't like throwing my hands up in the air like this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, you were, John. What do you mean?
Yeah,
let's run that back.
I tend to overreact sometimes but yeah, that to me that was that's like I said, it's only one. It was a nitpick. But you're right. I want to get the players like I want to hear from them like what they really think about these rules too. We can sit here and look at us. We're not making any rosters anytime. So I really want to hear it from the guys, who have to play by these rules.
Yeah, because I really think as a receiver, if you want to put up, good NFL tape and you think, 2-foot football is the way to go about it. Just get 2 feet in bounds. You know, don't try to go for, these one-legged catches. Do what you got to do.
I will laugh at their reasoning was player safety. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
But potential, I think, is what they said. Player safety.
Yeah. Which, I mean, technically, if you want to be very, very technical, I think it is slightly safer because you're not like doing crazy stuff to get both feet in bounds, but it is what it is.
So the big one that at least got the attention of Adam Schefter was no more tush push. Have we seen that in spring football? Not really. I think the last time I saw a tush push was Cole Kelly with the Showboats. It's not like we really have quarterbacks, who really. I mean, Bryce Perkins did it here and there, I think, with the Panthers, but even then, their style of tush push was different than what the Eagles run and what we see in the NFL. I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. It's not like I really care if it's in or out. But I think the best part about it being out is the amount of national attention that the league's getting for this. I mean, you've got Adam Schefter talking about it. You've got Front Office Sports. You've got Barstool Sports. You got Sickos Committee out here talking about it. Like, there's a lot of accounts and social media profiles and whatever you want to call them. The buzz is real. I mean, the UFL, all press is good press, right? So I think, like I said, I don't really have much an opinion on this. It's just like, this is great. We're actually getting eyeballs on UFL because of this new rules change. So I dig it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the ratio of tush pushes from the NFL to the UFL, where, there was a very wide gap. But I can see that, to me, that would be more of a safety issue than the whole, 1 foot or 2 foot in bounds on a reception. But, but yeah, I think it's so used. Of course, the Eagles use it, to almost perfection. And you saw some other NFL teams adopt it, like, the Seahawks, the barnyard where they put their tight end in there and, use him in the tush push. But I think there might be potential to, like, maybe some offenses relying on that. And I don't – there are football fans out there that are hardcore who don't like that play. So, yeah, I'm like you. I'm kind of 50-50. So if they got rid of it, that's fine. And I never did see it that much anyway in the UFL.
Yeah, I don't think it'll impact the gameplay much.
No.
It's provocative, gets the people going, It means absolutely nothing. But
yeah. I think it's too hard to officiate, too. It's way too hard to officiate.
How many times in the NFL did we see them miss false starts on tush pushes? I mean, it seemed like it happened a lot. You're right. That's a good point.
And, I mean, the UFL misses false starts to begin with. So, I mean.
I can't start.
Hey, I will say, if the NFL, I said this all season long, I kept looking at it and I was like, if this were a UFL game as I'm watching an NFL game, they could challenge that because they missed a hold or they missed this or they missed that. Now, to me, that is one rule that I think the NFL should like, where you can challenge anything. You can challenge a missed call or a no call.
Is this still Super Challenge still a thing?
I believe so.
I think so.
Yeah.
It better be.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that was what that may, when you talk about the transparency with, officiating and you hear the coaches and they say, you missed a hold here. I just thought that was great. Like, that was one major difference between the NFL and the UFL that I think was solid and actually got a lot of attention when they were putting the mics on the refs and you could hear, the talk back with Mike Pereira and Dean Blandino. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's personally my favorite difference in rules is the Super Challenge.
Yeah,
I think that is probably the greatest rule change. The NFL should adopt that one.
100%.
I'm shocked that they haven't yet, to be honest. Especially like an immediate example comes to mind is that Rams Saints playoff game several years ago. With the missed defensive PI call in the UFL, that challenge play could have been thrown there, and I think it definitely would have been overturned. So those are the types of innovations we love to see. And you know what? Maybe at some point we'll see a 4-point field goal in the NFL. You never know. I mean, I feel like that's one of the more unlikely rule innovations to get there. But again, like Baker said, we said the same thing about the XFL kickoff way back when, and the NFL's adopted that for the most part. And I think it's been a good addition to the game. I know some people aren't super big fans of it, but player safety is important. And when you've got players running down the field 60 yards full blast at each other, there's a reason why there's so many injuries on those plays. And the XFL kickoff definitely keeps, and I guess I should say UFL kickoff, but it was innovated in the XFL. That style of kickoff has kept the game safer. Kind of moving down the line.
trying to get 2 feet in bounds also makes things unsafe. So,
That's
having
true.
1 feet plus, XFL kickoff, chef's kiss. No injuries anymore.
I want to go back to the punting inside the 50-yard line. I think what makes this such a funny rule, and I want to see if I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull up this Sickos community tweet about
I think
it.
I know exactly what you're referencing.
Yeah, funny enough, Jamar Smith. Let me see. Give me just 1 second. Gosh, they tweet a lot. Almost there, guys.
Yeah, somebody brings up a good point here. A lot of times they're going to go for it anyway. I mean, how many fourth down, tries have we seen? I like to me, like that could be a big deal. That's been a big part of offense with analytics now.
Well, Sickos Committee points out, based on this new UFL rule, this 3rd and goal from the LA Tech 6-yard line, 4th down, you're going for that, man.
Yeah, that was an all-timer right there.
If you find yourself in this situation, like, yeah, you should be forced to go for it. Like,
Yeah, right.
like
the
where's our
quarterback
bleep button?
for
Like,
that
you bleeped up. Like, no.
Well, I think another interesting piece to this puzzle is that defenses getting a stop is actually going to mean a little bit more with this rule. Because, now instead of getting a stop when you're inside the 50-yard line, you punt it, you can kind of coffin corner punt them, try to keep them inside the 10 or the 5. You get a stop on 4th down, your team's taking over the 40, the 45, the 50. You're basically giving your offense the ball midfield. So that's another thing that comes into play here, which I think will be kind of fun to watch unfold throughout the season. How many of these which top defenses are going to really take advantage of that?
It feels like these are geared toward more scoring to me. I mean,
For
it's
sure.
just, it feels like, Rapoli and the UFL. I use Rapoli and the UFL kind of interchangeably because it feels like he's made a lot of big major calls here, but it feels like the league wants to see some 40 and 50-point games. Now, maybe they don't want to see that in the UFL Championship again, but I mean, that was kind of fun when, Michigan actually started to score some points too. But I think that's what they might want to see in the regular season, a lot of just absolutely crazy arena football kind of scores.
I mean, that's what Rapoli was saying. I mean, over and over again was we want points, we want points, we want points, we want fun, we want football. More power to him, right? I mean, you can only convince so many people to watch a football game that's 13-9. I think of that Baker, like you and I were rewatching the other night, that Roughnecks Renegades 11-9 shootout at Choctaw Stadium. But it's like, you get bored when you're watching an NFL game that's like that between, two of the worst teams, the Raiders and the Cardinals when it's 11-9. We got Anthony Brown and Luis Perez going at it with the Renegades and the Roughnecks, and it's 11-9. It's hard to keep people engaged in that unless you're a diehard, borderline, like, just ridiculous person like all of us are who will watch that, So I like the rule changes for that fact alone, that more scoring means more people are engaged. That's what people want in football.
Also means you're going to have some 4-hour games, so if they're ready to deal with that, because I know that one of the things is they're trying to, shorten the games, keep them flowing. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I love making things, exciting, but a little bit less exciting than 2001 XFL. I think we've already seen our ceiling. So as long as we keep it below that, we're okay as far as gimmicks go.
No more ball scrambles and season
no, talk about
injuries
player
to start
safety.
the game.
Yeah, player safety goes out the window with the ball scramble at the 50-yard line.
Have you ever seen the video where, I forget where it is, I think it's some West Virginia high school conference, but they dropped their football from a helicopter. Have you seen that? I'll have to find that and I'll have to send that to the group
I think
chat.
Ducky's getting tricked by AI generated.
No, this is legit. I see it years ago. It's been years ago now.
Boomer alert.
No. I already got called.
That's the kind of stuff I'm supposed to fall for. Doug,
And then the field opened up and lava came out from underneath. You won't believe it, Chandler.
I got called Unk at the airport. Don't be.
Painful, isn't it?
It is.
What else we got here in these rule changes? Oh, we got the PAT back, which they've not fully identified what the 1-point conversion will look like, because it says 33-yard field goal, and then social media posts they're saying 33 kick from the 33-yard line. It's kind of a big difference. Is it 33 yards like the NFL, or is it a 50-yard field goal from the 33? I'd assume it's the first option. I would think that makes the most sense. I mean, you're trying. If we're bringing back the PAT, why would we make it 50 yards? I mean,
if you're going to get 4 points for a 60-yard field goal, surely you're not going to get one for a 50-yard PAT. So, yeah, I think you're right. I
would assume that, and again, that makes sense, right? Because, I mean, and I've always said this. I think Brandon Aubrey got his NFL opportunity to begin with because he was so good on those PATs for the Stallions. If you look at his track record with Birmingham, it's not like he was kicking 50, 60-yarders in the USFL. I mean, he was mostly just kicking 40-yard field goals, and he was very accurate. But you look at his PATs, he was 34, 34, or whatever it was across a couple of seasons, and I think that's a big reason why Dallas brought him in. And then they saw his big leg in camp and saw him do that early on, and that's why he's a Pro Bowl kicker and arguably the best kicker in the NFL right now. I'm very happy to see that brought back. The only question it does raise is how many teams are actually going to go for 2 now or go for 3? Because if you have the PAT back, in the USFL in 2023, we didn't see many 2 or 3 point conversions at all. We only saw the 3-point conversion when it was needed, or every so often a team would go for 2 kind of for fun. But, I think that's kind of been one of the more fun parts of the UFL is they have to go for that 2 or the 3 or the 1 or whatever it is. So we'll see. Viking, great point. Matt Coughlin should be in this league, man. I don't know what the hell is going on. He was one of the only redeemable things about the Showboats.
Then if there's one guy who played last year who could even kick 60, it's him.
Right.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, I'm sure there's a story there. I just I wondered where he was and why he's not in the league this year.
I don't. It's weird, man. There's some guys that, I mean, there'll probably be some stuff coming out soon that I'm not going to say right now, but there's definitely some guys who are screwed. But that's another story for another time, and I'm not going to touch that. So moving onwards. Yeah, another little tidbit about the PATs is the 3-point conversion is now from the 8-yard line. I believe that's been the 10-yard line the last couple of years. So,
yeah, I mean, I really like the old PAT structure just because explaining it to people was simple. 1 from the 2, 2 from the 5, 3 from the 10. This way is a little bit more clunky, but I mean, I get it. Kickers have been the ones moving up. They've been the ones making the money, getting the name recognition, get them some reps. Because Lord knows the UFL has made their return on investment on Jake Bates or Brandon Aubrey. Right. So I mean, you got to cater to that. But personally, I think if it is truly just a 33-yard extra or kick from the 30, no, not kick from the 33, the 33-yard, whatever the hell the normal PAT is,
right?
Turns into another bathroom break play, which is something I know Mike Rapoli was wanting to get away from. So I'm honestly surprised to see this back. Personally, if I were to kind of reconfigure it around, I would get rid of the 4-point field goals, and I would have made the 3-point option a 60-yard field goal, and then have 1 from the 2, 2 from the 5.
You're making this very complicated, James, but you're right. I do kind of like that structure.
Rule book's gonna be this thick by the time James is done.
Oh,
that's just special teams.
Every year when I print it at FedEx, it just goes up and up and up and up. And so at some
They're
point,
waiting.
it just settle down.
They're sitting there looking at their orders.
One year, they're like, "Hey, we're keeping the same rule book." I'll be like, "Thank God." Yeah.
Trying to see what else. We got the coin toss back, which I don't know if any of us missed that necessarily, but we've got a coin toss. So if you like that, congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those 50-50 kind of things. It didn't matter, but
I didn't even know we lost it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was what
Fraud.
was it? A home team got the choice. Wasn't that what it was last year?
Yeah, the home team got to choose what if they wanted to kick or receive.
I like it. It makes a fun opportunity for sponsors and community events and such, having people come out to the coin toss. Before, they would have kind of events and organizations come. They would announce them at the 50, but it's kind of weird to just set up for an announcement versus, so-and-so with this organization is doing our coin toss. People are looking for a result from that interaction, not just a random promo.
And it's one more thing the UFL can sell. So hopefully we'll see the commemorative coin out there soon.
Wow, Max Holbrook is a fraud as well. How do you guys not know this? Y'all been watching the league or what?
I've got a better question. Who cares?
Oh, in fact,
Now-
I think one of the giveaways at I think some of the giveaways are the commemorative coins. So I wonder if that's a tie-in with what they're going to do, like with this coin toss.
Hopefully they run the coin by Birmingham so their fan base can approve of it first. But
What is this?
Now,
guy's-
what I am curious about is, every U.S. coin has, an important historical figure on it. Are the UFL coins going to have Mike Rapoli's, is his buff going to be right there? That's an important
And then
question.
Russ Brandon is on the
back.
other side.
No, the back would be the UFL HQ. I feel
Okay.
like, we could
Got it.
make sure the logo's at the top.
I think
I feel like, James, you've seen the design of the coin and you're just kind of
I'll say,
leaking
I
it
feel
live
like
on
James
air.
is-
Yeah.
He's just throwing out feelers right now. Mike's probably like, "Hey, James, throw this out on the podcast. See
I
what the
think he's-
reaction is."
Yeah, I think we're getting talking points right now.
Yeah, James has already seen like 7 AI mock-ups of this coin.
I wonder which one Mike's gonna leak first. Oh, that's funny. I see someone in the chat asking about Jordan Tiamu. He should be on within the next 10 to 15 minutes, hopefully. But until then, we'll keep talking about some rules. I think that about wraps up the rule talk. We can talk to Jordan about some of these. Kickoff looks about the same. There's a couple little, slight nitpicks in the sense of things getting slightly adjusted, but nothing crazy. It'll be similar to what we've seen. I know the punting rules aren't fantastic. I haven't fully looked at those myself yet, but I feel like punters have kind of consistently gotten screwed, and I'm assuming that's going to stay the same.
Yeah. The league tolerates kickers. They hate punters. So if you're a punter out there watching this, I sympathize with you, buddy. Because
Yeah, I mean, how many? We've seen a lot of special teamers go on to the NFL, but I don't know how many. I mean, we've seen a few kickers and returners, but punters, I don't know.
well, Waylon, just having a great time. Should have been Marquette King.
Oh,
He wasn't
Right.
blackballed.
That's what he says. That's interesting. I thought that was someone who would bring some eyes and attention to the league again this year, but guess he's hanging it up.
Yeah, he's a fun guy, always doing something. So
Yeah,
we're just gonna,
yeah,
not the end of Marquette King as we know it.
Yeah. No, I have a feeling we're still going to see. Maybe he'll do another concert.
I'm going to miss Brad Wing, too. I mean, he was fun. He was even starting to do some content last year, thanks to destroying #1 kicker in the league.
Man, with 60-yard 4-point field goals, imagine if D. Strong was on a team this year.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the YouTuber guy?
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
and not much.
Did
of a
you know he
kicker.
has 6 million subscribers?
I did not.
Seems like I heard that a couple of times.
it's probably gone up
Really?
since then. We're looking at 6, maybe 7 million
Oh.
subscribers.
Get him out of here.
Marquette King, full-time ATU panelist.
That would be awesome.
100%. That would be the one. Yes.
Baker, you got to make that happen.
I
I
can
miss
see if I can
Jace,
make that
man.
happen.
I wish Jace would still jump on every once in a while, but I think he blocked me, so not surprising.
I just talked to him earlier today. I can't say what we were talking about, but it was very funny.
Yeah, because he said F. James Larson, probably.
No. Yep, that's exactly what he said.
Well, in the meantime, while we wait for Tiamu to make his way on here, I wanted to talk a little bit about. I feel like the overall league promotion has been really good as of late.
Yes.
We've seen so many just outstanding promotion, like just this thing with Dean Blandino, the way they promoted that, the way they published it, I thought was fantastic. Got a lot of eyeballs on it. The rule changes have gotten a lot of positive press. We've got the United We that kind of new marketing campaign. I don't love all of them, but you know what? It's something. I'll give it to them. Like, they're good promos for the most part. So I like it. What do you guys think?
I loved it. I think Chris Redmond's going for an Oscar, an Emmy, or something, man, because Redmond was selling it. Like, I
He
mean, I'm
was.
not even kidding. Like, that was great. That's the first one I saw, and then I started. Like, the other ones were good. I thought the other ones were really good. I thought they were creative, but like Chris was all about it. Like, he was selling it. It was like an acting job. I loved it.
Man,
No,
no,
but I think
season's
those are
close
creative.
because John's king bias is already in full swing. Gotta love it over there. But no, this content's been amazing. I was talking to one of the guys at the Renegades at Christmas event, And he was telling me, he was like, "Oh yeah, we just ordered, a whole bunch of cameras. We're gonna get like a whole actual production crew kind of going around with each of the teams." And he's like, things are really going to start ramping up. And kind of January, February didn't really see that, and then boom, we hit training camp, and I feel like we've just gotten post after post after post from all 8 teams. Typically, you could tell who was running socials for the day because you'd have 1 to 2 teams post and silence from everybody else. But like right now, everybody, no matter who you're a fan of, if you're a fan of just league content, I feel like you're getting something consistently multiple times a day, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I thought we were seeing a lot of that. I thought it was great.
Guys, our guest has arrived, so we'll circle back in a little bit. But the man, the myth, the legend, a spring legend, a spring football icon, UFL Championship MVP, DC Defenders quarterback Jordan Tiamu is on the call. Jordan, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining the show. How you doing today?
What's up, James? Doing good, man. Good to see you again.
You too. Appreciate you coming on. Having you on here, it's kind of felt like it's been long overdue, but it's good to have you part of the show. Just got down to training camp. DC is getting back to it, looking to maintain that terror this year. What's the vibe so far in training camp for you guys?
Oh, vibes are really, really high. A lot of guys are flying around. They're excited to put the cleats on, and we had 3 days of onboarding and just install and meetings and walkthroughs, and then just seeing the guys fly around the last 2 days has been amazing, and just being able to see them on the field too. Names I've watched and was excited about. So I'm just excited to get this thing rolling. I'm glad we started a week early.
Definitely. I mean, we talk about spring football and kind of the last couple of years. Feels like teams in week 1, unless they had a lot of chemistry already, it was tough to kind of have that camaraderie there week 1, learning new offenses, learning new defenses. But for DC, you've been in a unique spot. You've had the same coaching staff for the most part the last few years. You have a lot of the same players. This year it's a bit different. We just redrafted the entire league. So, things are going to be a little bit different for you guys. You got to keep a lot of the same players, though, and you've got the same coaching staff. How important is that for DC when it comes to running it back and getting back to the championship?
Oh, that's a huge advantage for us, especially with the new draft system. And I'm, glad Coach Harris and the other coaches came together and got back, at least 75% of our roster. And, we have the same mindset, same goal. And we want to bring back the guys that, was a huge difference for us in 2025 and that got us to the championship game. So I feel like we have a huge advantage, and we just got to get the ball rolling now.
John, I know you're a Kings fan, but he is wearing Defenders gear today, so you are allowed to ask Jordan a question if you want.
Oh, okay. Well,
is that all right, Jordan?
That's fine. Yeah.
That's why I wore the shirt, so he would answer my question.
There you go.
Jordan, now that we've all heard the new rules here, what were kind of your thoughts on the rules, and what are some of the other players saying about the tweaks in the rules this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of guys like it. It's new, it's different. I like the field goal, the 4 points, and it's kind of rewarding to the kickers who always make it, past 60 yards. So, I mean, this is a good thing. And then I'm a guy, I love going for it. So once we get past that 50, I'm looking to score every time. And to get us one extra down is huge. I know Coach Keiss is going to dial up something nice for us, and I know Coach Shannon is going to go for it. But, if it comes down to it, we have Matt McCrane, and I know he can, we don't call him Matty Ice for no reason. So, we know he can drill it from 60 plus.
And I got to ask, as a quarterback, do you like this 1 foot in bounds thing for your receivers?
Oh yeah, we had it in 23. So, I mean, it's great to bring it back, and, allows more catches, allows, more plays downfield, and gives guys, a chance to get 1 foot in.
Right.
I got to point out the obvious from James Baker. What shirt are you wearing right now, bro? What the heck?
I found a shirt from my favorite game, the 2023 XFL Championship. And I'm a Renegades fan, but I got to ask you, I've watched, your entire career, been, you're on the Mount Rushmore of spring football. Does it make winning one feel better having been there before and not gotten it? And then kind of what's your motivation this year now that you have one? And is it just get number 2, or is it some other personal goal for you?
Yeah, I mean that was such a huge thing. Like whenever we lost in 23, and I like that shirt by the way. Whenever we lost, it kind of like stuck really hard. Because we worked really hard. We had a great team, great players, and for us to not to finish was just heartbreaking. So, that was my goal in 24, and then 25 we got there, and I was like, I'm not letting this slip away from me. Like this is right here, and like arm's reach, I can get it. So I'm gonna do everything I can to win this game, and that championship meant so much to me. This year, I do have personal goals. I want to win Offensive Player of the Year. I want to win MVP. I didn't know you can win both of those awards, and I saw it last year. So I want to win those two, and then of course I want to run it back and win a championship. So that's my goal, to run it back, and why not go for 2 for 2?
Jordan, you guys are the favorites right now. I was checking the odds before we came on here, and it's been you and the Stallions, for a while that as like co-favorites, and today like DC is the favorite. Do you think? What's your reaction to that? And also, do you think the continuity with what you have probably is leading the odds makers, I guess, to say you guys are the favorites?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to look at preseason stats and all that, and it's great to we got a big bullseye on our back because of it, and I'm usually the underdog, and I love going into games thinking I'm the underdog to give that motivation to myself and to my team, and I don't take it for lightly. Like I am grateful and appreciative of the preseason rankings and stuff, but I'm so level-headed. I'm taking it day by day, and yeah, that cat distracted me.
Sorry.
We don't even have Thorne on today.
That is awesome.
DC Defender fan, and he's at the NFL Combine actually. So shout out Nick.
Sorry,
yeah.
I want to circle back to
meet Jackson. By the way, he's happy to see you.
Jackson.
I want to circle back quick to the offensive MVP and winning MVP of the league. Ducky, I think you might have had a question about that.
No, I don't think I did. Don't think I did.
There's a story.
I don't know the story, dude. You're
on,
throwing a
Ducky,
blank
bring
at
it
me
up.
right now.
Well, I'll go
I
ahead,
genuinely
Jordan,
do
'cause,
not.
I got to watch you on Chris Schnabel's podcast. Shout out Chris. He did so much good content for the league last year. But the night before the championship, when you got the news that you didn't win league MVP and that you didn't even get Offensive Player of the Year, and you guys just dueled it out on Smash. Like, just take me through that and the emotions of you were feeling during that.
I mean, it was crazy. I was like eating lunch with my parents in St. Louis, and then I'm driving back to the hotel with my parents, and I just kind of refresh Instagram, and boom, MVP pops up, and Bryce is a great athlete and great quarterback, so I give my shout out to him, and just seeing that kind of broke me down a little bit. And I was like, dude, I showed it to my mom and dad, and they're like, Jordan, like, don't lose faith, like God did this for a reason, and He wants you to have a bigger reward. So I took that, and I was still in my feelings, and I get to the hotel, and then I hit up Chris. I'm like, Chris, what are you doing? I said, and he was like, nothing. That's just at my room. I said, I'm coming up to play Smash right now. And then he was like, all right, come on, because we just had time before meetings. So I go up to Chris's room, and I put the game on. And he was like, wait, why are you in a rush? I said, put the game on. So we end up playing the game, and me and him start going back and forth. I'm just quiet over there, and he's just over here just kicking my butt, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm getting even more mad. But then I ended up beating him too, so it's kind of going back and forth, and then it just kind of got my my brain and thoughts off football, and just focus on this little game for a second until meeting started. But that's how it all came about. Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, you got to let out all your anger the next day when you put up 58 points and set UFL records and got championship MVP and the trophy, which is most important at the end of the day.
Yep.
We had a question here in the chat that I wanted to pull up quickly from Max Holbrook. He said, Jordan, what was the best team you faced in the USFL, XFL, and UFL, and explain why it was the 2023 Orlando Guardians?
Oh my gosh, that will forever haunt me. That one loss in 2023.
That was the weirdest game I've ever seen, I think, in the UFL.
It was, yeah, it was crazy. I mean, they played their butt off against us. It was like, you know, it was their Super Bowl. So I know I think that's how every team, you know, plays against us is really good, and you know, it's their Super Bowl, and so kudos to them, shout out to them. But I think that was crazy. But the hardest team out of all three, they said when I answer that, they said want me to answer that.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Probably Michigan. I'll say Michigan. Always been a physical game against them, and 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 watching their offense go up and down the field.
Jordan, I know you don't get to see the other players practice or anything, so can't really fill out the talent. But talking with some of these new guys that are coming into the league, is there anybody that is like kind of gotten your attention, or someone that you might be looking forward to seeing out there, as long as you're not having to play them, maybe?
Right. You know, I'm always a big fan of Hakeem Butler.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard rumors that he looks even more bigger now. So
that's
I'm excited
impossible.
to see him on the field and see. Yeah, I know. He's gonna be the DK Metcalf of our league.
Right.
But I'm excited to see how he does. You know, this year.
Jordan, I want to ask you about one of the guys on the coaching staff there in DC that hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but he's been working with you, David Johnson, and he's actually the quarterbacks coach for the Defenders this year, with obviously Shannon Harris taking over as interim head coach last year, and then they took the tag off, and rightfully so, he's the head coach. But tell me a little bit about David and kind of the way you guys have grown together in your relationship there in DC, and what he brings to the table for you and that whole quarterback room.
Yeah, no, David's awesome. You know, he's coached, you know, on the defense side of the ball too, so he kind of brings that defensive outlook. And you know, if I ever have a question about, hey, what is the defense playing, or why are they, you know, rotating this way when that's going against their rule, he'll kind of show me and kind of break it down. And just having him in that meeting room too, you know, he knows a lot about football, and you can tell, and he brings a different aspect that, you know, Coach Harris doesn't. So they match off each other, and he does a good job, you know, with our drills, and you know, making sure he's always there, and anything we need, he's there for us.
Jordan, we appreciate you taking the time today. Don't want to take up too much more of your time because you guys got a lot to do down there in training camp. But Ducky, Baker, John, any other thoughts or questions for Jordan as we wrap this segment up?
I know we're only a couple of days into camp, but anytime a Jordantown with TikTok hits my feed, it's a good day. Do we have any celebrations already kind of planned out or in the works for 2026?
Yeah, we're kind of me and the receivers are trying to come up with you know, shout out to Trey Berry for you know, giving me this idea. It's like when LeBron like throws the ball up in the air and then he catches it and then kind of just goes back. Like I think that would be so cool to do for our first touchdown. So I'm trying to, you know, have someone spike it and then someone catch the spike, and then we'll all do, like, the whole offense does that dance. So I think that would be a cool thing to do on our first touchdown play.
Got a feeling there's going to be a lot of opportunities this year for that.
I don't have
we can't get it the first time.
I don't have a question, but somebody in the chat said that Callywood in the chat said you're 19 touchdowns away from breaking Jim Kelly's spring football record for touchdowns. Did you know that?
Wow. No, I didn't. That's
away.
actually really good to know.
There's another goal for you right there.
That is another goal, yeah. 20 touchdowns, 20 plus. So
you know,
really
I guess
good,
I'll jump in with a quick question kind of bounce off of that. I mean, you've been in spring football now for 6 years. I mean, I remember back in 2020 watching you with the St. Louis Battlehawks, and you've just Tampa Bay Bandits and then the DC Defenders the last few years. 6 years ago, did you see this as a potential like career path for you to take, or how do you kind of look back on it now and just be like, wow, you know, spring football, I've been in it for 6 years?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've always thought it was going to be the NFL, you know, coming off, you know, great, you know, 2 seasons in college, and then 2020 comes, and I'm like, all right, here's another opportunity. I don't have to go to the CFL. I can stay right here in the States and play ball right in front of my family. So boom, 2020 comes, and I get that opportunity, and I'm like, all right, this is great. This is not only great for players, but coaches and, you know, officials and everybody, league office. So it's like, all right, now I get these I mean, it gave me an opportunity in the league for 2 years, that 2020 season and that 2021 season. And, to kind of still be playing in the spring, I'm so grateful for, the higher ups. I'm grateful for our presidents and our sponsorships and everybody that's a part of it, because it's given me and all these players a chance to play a child's game. And, I'm forever grateful and will ever be grateful for the spring league.
No doubt. Well, Jordan, we appreciate
Yes,
you
sir.
being a part of spring football. Like Baker said, you're definitely on the Mount Rushmore of spring football athletes. Before we let you go, any message you want to give out there to the DC Defender fans, the DC faithful, the Beer Snake faithful out there at Audi Field?
Yeah, I just want to say, come pack that stadium out that first game. I know we don't play the very first game at home, but it gives us time for you guys to, buy your tickets and fill that stadium up and pack it out. I'm excited to see that stadium packed again. I want to see it packed like it was, in 2023. So we're bringing we brought a championship home for the DC community, for the DC fans. So I want you guys to show us love on that field and in any way you can. So appreciate y'all.
That's great.
Now, Jordan, I don't know if I've ever seen you, like Briley Moore did last year, just take a cup and douse it on himself, after a touchdown.
I will not be participating in that.
Even okay, but
I'll leave
what
that to
if you
Briley
break
and
that
all
Jim
them.
Kelly record, though? I mean, there's got to be
If I
something.
break that record, I will promise this. If it's the fourth quarter and it's like the game-winning game, or we're up and we're up by a good amount, and I score on that side, I'll run and chug a beer in front of the whole fans and like
Clip
stand
that.
on that
Clip
like
it.
little bleachers.
We got the around the UFL promise right there. Perfect. That's all
Yeah,
we needed.
I promise you, I'm doing it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, Jordan, again, we appreciate you taking the time with us today. Wishing you the best this season, and hey, we might have to have you back on sometime. But thanks again, and good
Yes,
luck
always.
in training camp.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you
Jordan.
guys. Have a blessed one.
You too.
Dude, that was all. He's so good, class dude. I mean, and an absolute talent. There's a reason that those guys are favored right now.
Legend,
You know what? And
man.
now we've got 2 more goals for him. You can break Jim Kelly's record and then chug a beer. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
We gotta stop giving all the competition motivation every time they hop on.
Right.
Should be like,
speaking
actually, you're 80 touchdowns away from the record. There's really no point in going for it,
Speaking of JoJo, next time you're on, I'm going to wear a Birmingham Stallion shirt. So I have several, so it's going to happen. So I'm complaining in the chat. He's mad.
Complaining? He was just giving advice.
Nah, he's mad. I get it.
I mean, it's Birmingham. They're always complaining, right?
Oh, you said
Oh.
that. Oh, it's Cat Central now.
Oh, that's funny.
I hear my dogs whining out in the living room, and I'm jealous of y'all with the cats walking around.
Well, we could dive in a little bit into coaching staffs. We got all that information. DC's kind of self-explanatory. We talked about it already, but they've got basically the same staff coming back for Shannon Harris. The big 3. Harris is back, Blake Williams, and then Fred Keiss, reigning assistant coach of the year. I mean, it's a great staff. I don't know what else to really say about it. They're coming off a championship. The continuity is going to be really important. I think that's why a team like DC is, and even Orlando too, with Anthony Becht and a lot of his St. Louis staff, they've worked together before. They know how they operate. I think that gives them just a little bit of an edge coming out of the gate here. We'll see. But, with a month-long training camp and a lot of new players, if you got the same coaches, that helps.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting with, Orlando being one of the long shots on the board. And it seems like, and it felt like I didn't understand why they were one of the longest shots. Like maybe I could see them be, maybe middle of the pack, because we really don't know what we have outside of, as we were talking about DC with the continuity. But yeah, right now, in fact, I think Orlando might have been the longest shot for a bit, with Louisville being next to last. I think it's the other way around now. Last time I looked at the odds, Louisville was the longest shot, but still, I was surprised by that with, like you said, or with Anthony Becht having experience and having that coaching staff as well.
Yeah, John, that was the first thing I noticed too. So I'm gonna need you to stop talking, because I saw that. I was like, Orlando long shot? I was like, okay, one of the few guys with actual spring football head coaching experience. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, NFL talent at quarterback. I don't know. Obviously, not saying they're going out there and winning it all, but being the longest shot is insane.
Someone clip this in the chat, in the Discord chat.
Awesome. We love you, JoJo. Also, I know you give us a hard time. We deserve it. As and Jackson was giving me a hard time as I was trying to ignore him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, Orlando, I mean, we can jump there. They have an interesting storyline because Kyle Kasky just got that opportunity with the Minnesota Vikings as an offensive assistant. So shout out Kyle. You know, the Anthony Beck coaching tree just keeps growing and growing and growing with all these guys that keep getting to the next level. And now we've got Mark Colombo and Colin Thompson serving as co-offensive coordinators with the Storm. Unclear yet who's going to be the play caller. It could also end up being Anthony Beck. That kind of remains to be seen, which makes sense. I mean, they've got a month to figure it out here in training camp, so no need to make a decision right now. They can kind of play it by ear and see how that pans out. But we'll see. I think it's a little unfortunate. Beck doesn't get enough credit for the job. What in the world?
Who put this up? Why are you saying what in the world? You're the one who put that up. And James is like, oh, who did this? Who put this up?
Where's that Barack Obama meme?
If it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
He's trying to frame me is what he's trying to do.
No, I was thinking it was
Jack
going to show
Plummer,
the
that's
smiling face. If you could see what my screen looks like it's like two smiling faces. Then I threw it up on the screen. It's like it's just all of that mumbo jumbo. But anyway, Beck has had a new offensive coordinator each of the last 3 seasons, and now he's having another change right before the season starts. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Well, it worked out last time. I was kind of the same way with Gradkowski and like what was going to happen, with all that. It felt like there was before the season there was just too much going on, and they played through it, and it had another good team. So he can deal with change all right, or at least has in the past.
I agree.
I like that we're in the position now where, I mean, knock on wood, I don't foresee any head coaches leaving a week, 2 weeks, or week after season starts. So, yeah,
Right.
I think we're in a much better boat this year. And that's kind of one of the things that, people will nitpick getting guys without coaching experience. But like in a league that's as new as the UFL, that's trying to grow like the UFL, you're going to be hard pressed to find experienced guys which aren't getting other job offers right now, or have already been taken up or got hired a couple months ago. So when you're kind of late to the draw and you're already kind of limited on your options anyways, the route we have right now, I think we're good and set.
Baker, thoughts on the Renegades coaching staff? I mean, we've got a couple of familiar faces there. I know previous episode we talked about the coordinators already, but we've got 2 linebackers coaches with the Renegades. That's kind of interesting. Yeah,
I'm kind of just interested to see how everything plays out. I'm a pretty much full clear house from Bob Stoops to New Heisel. New Heisel's mentality is a lot different than Stoops. He's wanting to get everybody playing time. He wants things to be fun, energetic, exciting, and kind of just leans into the, this is either your last hurrah or you're going to the NFL. Like, let's, focus on our own personal development, put forth a good football team, but have fun doing it. Whereas, Bob Stoops was very much like, if you are the best player at your position, you are on the field 100% of the time, constantly going for the win. Even if you're not pulling in.
That worked out well.
Yeah, even if you're not pulling your starters when you're deep in the fourth quarter against the 1-9 San Antonio Brahmas, with absolutely nothing on the line. I'm just excited to see just how this team really shapes up. One, these rosters are so fluid going through camp that you really can't evaluate until you see guys actually start, they put on pads a little bit, but start scrimmaging, practicing against each other, versus just going through random reps. Because we're just seeing right now who's conditioned and, who stayed in shape in the offseason. We haven't actually seen them go up against each other yet.
Thoughts, concerns?
No, I mean, I agree with all that. I was glad to finally see, what's news to me is probably not news to you, James, both of you, James, and Duck. You guys, you guys have a lot of the inside track, but it was finally good to see the entire coaching staff, released, and saw some interesting ones. Austin Prohl, he's a coach now. I thought like he might still be a player somewhere. I was wondering like where is he? Is he going to play? But it sounds like he's going to coach in St. Louis there. So I thought that's kind of a cool story.
And it's cool for him. I think he took a job with Wingate University this past fall, so he was working with their wide receivers there, and now he gets a chance to work on his dad's staff. And that's such a cool full circle kind of moment story there, because the two of them were in St. Louis in 2023 when Prohl was still a player. Excuse me, when Austin Prohl was still a player.
Right.
And Ricky Prohl was coaching up the wide receivers for Anthony Becht. And I kind of always think of that moment in that comeback win against San Antonio when Austin has the game-winning touchdown, and him and Ricky just, go up there bumping bodies, and they're, hugging each other. Like, that's a really cool moment. And don't be shocked if we see more of that this year, just with the two of them on the sidelines.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great dynamic there, and again, a good story. And
Battlehawks had a great staff, in my opinion. I think
agreed.
When it comes to, we talked about this a few months ago, right? Where some of these new head coaches, who are they going to get around each other to like make sure that they can still win football games? Prohl's he's already got experience as is, but Corey Chamberlain at DC, A.J. Smith, offensive coordinator. You've got John Estes coaching up the running backs. You've got, I'm going to botch a couple of these names, but Frank Gans Jr. coaching up the special teams. They've got a lot. Todd Washington with the offensive line, which that was a cool story, which I know we talked a little about the Content Baker, that video they put out about the coach's dinner. We saw the little bit in there about Ricky Prohl talking about the offensive line coach that he hired. That's Todd Washington right there.
Yeah.
Cool stuff all around. I like what the Battlehawks are doing right now.
And I like, you mentioned that the dinner video. It was like, first of all, I can't believe that they put that out. I think it was great, but like completely unedited and had all of that. We wanted more UFL content, and we're getting it here in the preseason. I think that was a great video.
And I was told by someone in the league that there's a lot more from where that came from. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And someone points out, like, but no Jaron. There it is. But no.
That's
Jaron
the
Horton.
biggest swing and the miss.
I can't figure it out. I don't. That doesn't make sense to me.
That is crazy. Don't even get me started.
Well, jumping on to something else, Ducky, we've got the Aviators coaching staff here. Have you had a chance to look over that at all? And any thoughts on where Columbus stands?
I have not looked at it, but I trust them 110%. Because they are the Columbus coaching staff.
Accepted on faith.
Well,
it's kind of the thing. You come to Columbus, you're
taking a
great.
flight.
Yeah, you're automatically great.
couple notable names. Bob Saunders on there, coaching up the running backs and the tight ends. He worked with Todd Haley in the USFL in Memphis and Tampa Bay. He's got experience with a few NFL teams. Larry Grant's a really cool hire. I mean, that's a former linebacker in the NFL, spent several years playing. He's been in coaching here and there the last couple of years, and he'll coach up the special teams and the linebackers for the Aviators. There's a couple of pickups here that I'm a little bit like, okay, this is definitely like some of Ginn's buddies who have not coached at all, but we'll see how it plays out. Can't knock it until we actually watch it.
Yeah, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You want people who you're comfortable with, and frankly, I think there are a lot of coaches that sometimes on a lot of levels in different sports, they surround themselves with people that they might not know who keep telling them yes, yes, yes. But if you get people who are close to you, and are your friends and who know football would be even better. To me, it's like they can tell him, hey. And not be afraid to tell him, hey, this isn't a good idea, or maybe this is a good idea, and he'll listen to him. So I don't mind that at all.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you're thinking of a Ted Ginn, when you're thinking of an AJ McCarron, like their phone books are deep.
Yeah.
And I think especially as, these teams start to like put their roots down and actually play, I want to know come this time next season, who is actively reaching out to Ted Ginn Jr. saying like, hey, it would be great. I'm retired. It'd be great to, hop on the sidelines again. I'd love to help out, because you just know he has endless former NFL guys, coaches, players, everything.
Yeah. And to even just say you're on the same team as some of these guys, it's like a dream to them.
Emory Jones is the name that keeps popping up here. I think he just was it released by the Falcons recently?
Yeah, I know we were talking about that last week. I
Yeah.
think like got released from IR from Atlanta.
That's right.
Chris Redmond's talked about him like 4 times, but still haven't seen a signing or his name pop up on any rosters anywhere.
Not
so.
yet. I kept hearing around Louisville like they don't have a third quarterback right now. I mean, they have Lynn Bowden who can play some gadget plays like that. But yeah.
It's going to be taking the Devion Smith route of just skipping training camp and signing a day before season starts.
Well, they got QB1 and QB2 I think already set in Louisville, so yeah, why not?
Real quick, I wanted to talk about the Gamblers coaching staff. We talked about their coordinators, I think, last week or the week before. But I like a couple of these additions for Kevin Sumlin. Tyron Carrier is a great addition, wide receivers coach. He's actually Football Scoop's wide receivers coach of the year in 2018. So he's been around the block with Houston, Temple, Grambling State. He was an NCAA record holder as a player, so he's got a lot of talent. Tim Holt, the offensive line coach, he comes over from the Michigan Panthers. That's one of my guys. I'm super glad that he found a spot. That Panthers offensive line, in my opinion, might be the best line we've ever seen in spring football. Y'all are going to say I'm biased. I'm not even a Panthers fan, but, I mean, you look at the sheer amount of talent that came from that line between Noah Johnson, Jake Burton, Cole Cabral, Ryan Nelson. I mean, all these guys got NFL opportunities. All these guys have been either all UFL or, on the ballot to vote for those awards. Yeah. And then, I mean, just look at what the offense did last year. I mean, Tim Holt, it starts there. It starts with the offensive line, and Houston got a good one.
Yep, agreed. And that, I should say I was a little skeptical about, Sumlin coming back. And, I just didn't know because his body of work in spring football was very small and, not great. And it was a while ago. But yeah, that coaching staff, I think it takes that to another level.
It's tough hearing about these offensive line coaches because I just wish Jonathan Heimbaugh was still in the league. Man, won 2001 XFL championship as a player, 2022 at the USFL, 2023 XFL, and then stuck around all through Stoops. And sadly, not a spot for him right now. But if you're a UFL team watching this, keep my boy Jaime in mind.
Yeah, I was surprised he's not. Yeah, he's you want to talk about a legend, and and maybe a legend that not a lot of people know about. But you're right, like his roots go very deep in spring football.
Too focused on the cat right now. Ducky, move out the way and try to watch the cat. There we go.
Get your fat ass out the screen, bro.
Look at him. He's locked in. Oh.
What was that, Ducky?
You don't care.
Abdul, I don't got a clue when hats are coming out.
Great question. And it's killing me.
Ask Mike.
I'm seeing all this stuff from training camp, and all these guys are wearing, and in some of these news conferences, these guys are wearing some awesome new era gear. It's like,
it looks
please,
awesome.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Just
put it out
there.
Take my money, bro.
This is the first year where I've consistently seen fans throughout Twitter, Facebook, Instagram asking specifically where is this gear at?
Yeah.
Yeah, typically just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Redmond had on, it was a new era Kings thing, and it had different color sleeves. It was it looked like a hoodie or a pullover or what. It was awesome. It's like, these have to be there somewhere. They've got to be eventually.
I saw the coolest beanie that I know the second I get it, it's not coming off for a good 2-3 months. So,
dude, the Aviators have 2 different beanies now. If one, it's not so good. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's bad. And then there's another one that they were giving out at the fan rally, and I saw everybody walking around with them. I'm like, where was everybody getting these at? And they're like, oh, if you go buy season tickets, you get one. And I'm like, I already bought season tickets. Yeah. I want one. They gave me one, though, so shout out to the ticket thing for Aviators. They gave me one. I don't have it with me.
Why aren't you wearing it?
And my Buckeyes hat on. And everybody thinks that's a pot leaf. It's not.
I was wondering if you're into cannabis now.
No, it's a dang Buckeye.
I mean, he still is into cannabis, but
but not the hat.
Actually, never done that in my life. Swear.
Well,
Good time to start.
anyways,
I'm moving to Denver.
Baker,
in a
I know what
couple.
you're thinking.
No.
I'm staying silent. I was told to be good.
Good idea.
Guys, it's been a fun show. I don't think there's a lot else to really cover. I mean, training camp's going. We're getting good content. I'm excited to see what else comes out of camp. Right now, there's not much to say about it because we've hardly heard anything about the practices. There's not a lot of information coming out quite yet. I mean, they're, 2 practices in, so
Right.
we'll see. I'd say next week, I'm sure we'll have some more insight on, okay, this coach said this position group's looking good. Probably see some more roster turnover. I know people are asking in the comments, who's going to be the Kings' third quarterback? Who's going to be St. Louis's third quarterback? Remains to be seen. But until then, we'll just have to wait.
Sign me. I'm available.
Yeah, Ducky, I pulled up that old USFL graphic. I can't remember if you made it or someone else made it, but the one of James Larson throwing for 11,000 yards.
I did not make that, but I will take credit for it.
I can't remember who made that. And then someone else photoshopped me signing with the Falcons, but oh, you know what? That is a good question in here before we wrap things up. Thoughts on the St. Louis development with them talking to the MLS stadium there? I'll give my thoughts right off the bat. I think this works out if it's a bit of a marketing ploy of okay, let's make sure we don't move the Battlehawks from the Dome. We got to keep showing up. Because if we're being honest, some of those Battlehawks crowds would fit at Energizer Park right now because if we're being honest, those numbers that get released to the public are inflated. I mean, I think we can look at some of those crowds from last year and be like, okay, yeah, this was probably more like 15,000, 20,000. I really hope that it never gets to the point where we have to move to Energizer Park. I think the Dome is a great environment. I've been there for a couple of games. When St. Louis is playing, it's very loud.
Yeah.
Battlehawks have more than enough potential to average 35 to 40,000 fans a game. We've been saying this for years and years and years and years. Now it's up to the UFL to deliver to that market and make sure that they're keeping the Battlehawks fans engaged. I think that because it's been the marquee market, they've kind of exploited those fans a little bit in the sense of they've gotten the short end of the stick on certain things, and it's a big market. I mean, you need employees there, you need people out there in that city making people aware that Battlehawks still play. So I love what Rapoli's been doing lately with that marketing, and I think we can keep that number trending upwards, in my opinion. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should stay at the Dome. There are a couple of issues possibly with, the Dome's future is kind of in doubt right now. It's cloudy. Then they're not sure. They talked about, is it worth the upkeep now? But also it was also interesting that Ricky Prohl said, well, maybe I need to take Mike to a game and kind of educate him. So that was pretty. He said it tongue in cheek, but he wants to stay there. He knows how special that place is, especially when we're talking about spring football. But I think if they did have to leave the Dome, not because of the UFL, but because of the city of St. Louis, I mean, I don't think there's, I think Energizer Park would be the way to go. And, still, again, fits into the mold of what Rapoli wants.
Yeah, I think this is just good business. If you're looking at doing business in St. Louis for a considerably long amount of time, the stadium, which is old and is still just getting older and older by the minute, might as well go and kick the tires around while you're already kind of shopping around stadiums for all the other markets. Yeah. At the end of the day, they had these conversations. They decided, no, we're sticking with the Dome, and they're back in the Dome. But at least they already, made those contacts, made that relationship. So if something came forth, they're getting rid of the Dome, they have to move, not based off the UFL's decision, but based off City of St. Louis's decision. Yeah. At least they've already kind of established and laid down this groundwork. So I don't think this is kind of a smoke signal of, they're trying to tank St. Louis and move them into a small soccer stadium. No, I think it's just them being realistic and seeing that they live in a old cathedral to an NFL team, which is quite frankly no longer there. And just trying to make sure that they can have a future in St. Louis. So if anything, I would be excited as a Battlehawks fan saying, hey, if shit goes down with the Dome, we have a backup option, which is something that, Michigan couldn't say, which is how they no longer have a team. So you can only think your team is safe in this league if you have a stadium to accommodate the team.
That's a
That
good
is true.
point because and they can't lose St. Louis. Like it was already
Right.
kind of shocking how they they shook it up, and Anthony Beck goes down here and goes to Orlando, and but you're right that they can't lose St. Louis, and that was one of the things I saw in one of the news reports out of St. Louis where they were just talking, just your typical fan on the street, and they pointed out like downtown St. Louis needs things like one of the people who they interviewed said, when you come down here during a Battlehawks game, it's full. There are people out in the street. There are people going to these restaurants. And James, you guys have been there. I've been to a few of the Battlehawks home games. You go down there any other time, there's nobody down there unless they're going over to the casino across the way. But on that side, when there's a Battlehawks game going on before and after, man, there are fans everywhere. But you're right. The UFL cannot afford to lose St. Louis, and having that backup would be good. They said the one sticking point would be the people at it's not City Stadium, it's Energizer Stadium or Energizer Field. Were worried about would they be able to have a football team and a soccer team there as far as turf goes. And I think we've already seen like it can happen. It's going to happen, and it does work. It's worked at Audi Field, which Abdul had pointed out, I think, on his Substack, which is a great read, by the way. People should go check that out. That that was voted like one of the worst MLS stadiums. Now I don't know why, but they were not worried about that here in Louisville. And here in Louisville, that place is a cathedral for soccer fans. And there were some fans that were worried about, is a football team going to tear this turf up? But the front office people who know how important soccer is to this community, they're not worried about it.
Right.
At least
Shout out to
publicly.
the ground. Yeah. Shout out to the grounds crew of all these MLS teams.
Yeah.
They do a fantastic job at keeping Audi upkept in the season between both those teams. It's actually insane how much work they put in.
Yeah.
Shout out to grounds crews everywhere. I can't keep a damn plant alive, and they're over there keeping
Right.
pristine green fields in winter in Texas. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But but to the point of St. Louis moving, I say do it. I genuinely say do it.
Move to
Because
LA.
Look, no. Don't move to the city. No, stay in St. Louis. Move fields because, I mean, how long was the turf just complete crap inside America's Dome? And
It was horrible. I mean, you could literally see wrinkles in the turf.
yeah, like why would, if you're a city and the UFL is putting a team in your city to bring in all this revenue, why would you not fix the field sooner?
Yeah. I mean, at least they
And
finally did. But I tell you what, every
Pretty sure
time
the
that
UFL footed it.
right, well, there is that. Every time that I've been in that stadium, I mean, I love going to Battlehawks games because the atmosphere it's like second to none. But that dome is so dirty inside. I think they had a tractor pull or something. Like we had to, everybody in there were wiping off our seats because there was like this much dust or mud on all the seats. It's like this, come on. There are some issues there.
If you want to
Energizer's a nice
see
stadium.
an experience at the Dome from like a neutral fan perspective, there's this guy G-Fed where he does like a lot of challenges where he will go into a stadium and stay as long as possible. He did it at a Battlehawks game.
Yeah.
And he kind of shared his thoughts and input kind of just walking around. He's like, oh yeah, like you can tell this was meant for the Rams and this hasn't been touched in years. And it's just, it's definitely like, I get the nostalgia and the appeal and like how the environment gets loud and it gets packed, but we got to be realistic at some point. That's what happened with Choctaw Stadium. Choctaw, it used to be, packed every single day with, Rangers baseball. Renegades weren't really able to pack it out. Things slowly started to decay, and now everyone's kind of jumping ship. And very similar fate is going to rest for the Dome.
Look at the NFL, for example. I mean, they're even, whenever they're building new stadiums, they're not doing these crazy sized stadiums anymore. They're getting more smaller based off of previous stadiums they've built. I just think we're not in the era of everybody going out to a football game anymore like that. Like 30K, 40K is pretty much your expectations now. I don't think you're going to go much higher than that, which is why.
Ducky, and you're right. And I think you start to increase the value of a ticket when you have a little more scarcity. Because, I mean, there have been several times, I'm a Seahawks fan. They've played in Cincinnati or in Indianapolis, but am I going to go up there and pay $200 for a nosebleed, or I'm going to sit right down here in my basement and, and in
Right.
comfortable weather? Now you do have a dome in Indianapolis, but like when they were playing in Cincinnati, it's snowing and 25 degrees. I'm not going to do it and sit up in the rafters for that. I'm just not going to do it. So, but I think you're right. I think some of these there's a method to the madness of making some of these new stadiums smaller.
There really is. And I personally think it would look really, really good inside of Energizer Stadium. I think it'd look a lot better than what it does in the Dome. The Dome, I'm not trying to like diss the Dome as much as I love hating on St. Louis in general. The Dome is very nice, but Energizer Stadium is much better.
Yeah.
It just looks better overall. It's a lot more marketable. Don't get me wrong, the Dome's iconic, but the lighting sucks in there too. I was there for the past however many championships have been there now. It's just the lighting feels so weird in there.
Now,
I know they
now
just
they fixed the
replaced it.
field. I have no complaints about the I guess the dome itself outside of the seating.
Yeah, it probably needs a little bit of a refresh. It does still feel like the '90s in there, which that's not all bad, but
It also
they need some help.
every time somebody would kick a ball, I thought for sure it was hitting the ceiling.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's hitting. No, it's not. Wow, a lot higher. Looks a lot higher than what it actually is, I guess.
Well, this is
Larson?
great. I didn't even have to talk the last like 5 minutes. I love that. Man, we gotta get Ref back on the show so he can freaking host. Would really like to hand it off to him. But while I'm still the host, I think that probably about does it for us today. Any final thoughts, guys? Anything you want to get out there before I stop the live?
No, I did. Someone pointed out the fun fact that every day we're closer to March 27th. So
Amen.
And I'm looking forward to more stuff. I love just in the first few days here, in the first few days that we've seen a lot of stuff coming out of training camp, and we're going to hear from some coaches. We already heard from some coaches. We'll hear from some this week and players. So it's fun, man. It's going to be here in just about a month.
We should have preseason rankings. I think we're starting that with PFN shortly. Aren't we taking votes? James? Larson?
I
Do you know anything
have
about
no
that?
idea.
I think Christian started that. Well, this guy, he basically runs PFN, doesn't even know anything. I'm releasing my fan base rankings, so look out for that.
Those I'm looking forward to.
Yep. Everybody loves a good fan base ranking. Can't wait for that.
Got some big things coming soon, but I'll keep it ominous and mysterious.
That means he's not doing nothing.
Well, till next time, everyone. This was James Larson with Around the UFL and Pro Football Newsroom. Signing off for James Baker, Ducky, and the legendary John Lewis Sports from John Lewis Sports. Till next time. Catch you next time. Who sucks right now, guys? Arlington?
Orlando fans, poop standing up.